In the video on Plato, you're going to know who Plato was, where was his place in history, and what is Plato most remembered for. For instance, what does he mean by this idea of forms? And also, what is rationalism, which is sort of attributed to Plato? True knowledge is acquired independent of sensation, meaning since the world is constantly changing, what we get through our five senses is constantly changing and therefore is not reliable as the pathway to knowledge, true knowledge, which should be about things that don't change. And consequently, he is credited with being sort of the one to get rationalism off the ground. And he had his theory of forms, that physical things are imperfect copies of forms with a capital F, so that there is a realm in which these forms exist, but they don't exist physically. They exist more or less conceptually, but not dependent upon people thinking them. They exist independent of that, actually existing somehow in this realm of forms. Let's start with this definition to get us going. Forms are universal categories that exist independent of specific things. That which we conceive, as opposed to that which we perceive with our five senses. This isn't something you perceive with your five senses. It's something we conceive with our mind. So if I say, do you think of the form of dog? Well, you might think of a silhouette like this of a dog, thinking that's as generic as I can get. But Plato would be quick to point out, well, you're moving in the right direction, but this silhouette is not the form of dog. And why is that? Because you can see it. You are perceiving it with one of your five senses. It's there on the screen. Light is reflecting off of it, going into your eye, etc., etc. Anything that is part of this physical world cannot be a form. A form, as a matter of fact, this is a great way to remember it, forms are formless. So no matter how generic you picture it, if you see it, then it's not a form for Plato.